Welcome back, fellas, to Wednesday's games in the NBA. It is February 5th, and we have an 11-game slate, as well as I have 5 player props to give you in this video with a new format, as you guys can see. We're going to be going over the NBA slate. We're going to be going over yesterday's recap, as well as we're going over the 5 plays I have for you guys for the player props for today's games. So we're going to hop straight into it, wasting no time with the NBA slate for today. We have 11 games on. Most of them are very mid, in my opinion. There's nothing really crazy matchup-wise here today. There's some back-to-backs as well. So we're going to hop straight into that. One of my favorite and most anticipated matchups is going to be the Spurs versus the Hawks. Spurs are favored by -4.5. Or -4, excuse me. I think the Spurs win this game with De'Aaron Fox, who's supposed to play for most of this game. No Chris Paul, most likely. By the time you're seeing this, we'll probably know by then. But there's supposed to be no Chris Paul, which means De'Aaron Fox should get a lot of run, which would be very interesting. Trae Young normally passes way more than he scores when he plays De'Aaron Fox, so it should be an interesting dynamic. Either way, I think the Spurs win -4. The Cavs versus Detroit. I think Detroit has the better spread here at +5. You can get them even over +5.5, which I really like. The Pistons are a team that is very scrappy. Not only that, the Cavs are coming off a tough back-to-back versus Boston. Normally when they play Boston or a super tough team, I like to fade them spread-wise, and I'm probably going to do that here again today versus Detroit Pistons team that I think can get scrappy and sneaky, maybe even win this game. The next game is the Hornets and Bucks. Next, the Hornets fucking stink. Next, no, LaMelo's not playing. No one's playing. It's just Mark Williams versus the world. It's not even worth talking about. Grizzlies and Toronto. I like the Grizzlies in this one. -7 feels like a great spot. Could be a sneaky weird game, but I think the Grizzlies end up covering. Wizards, Nets, -1 is a toss-up of a game. Ben Simmons is even playing point guard for the Nets now, so we'll see how that turns out. I really like his rebounding line in that sense. It's not one of my plays, but normally when he plays the point guard, his rebounds and normally even his assist lines are pretty good and pretty reasonable. So if that's something that interests you, you can look at that. Also, a lot of people are on Luke Kennard for Memphis, so if you want to look at that, go ahead. The Minnesota Timberwolves versus the Bulls. Minnesota's -10.5 favorites in that one. I think we're gonna have to ride with that. The Bulls now without Zach LaVine. We don't know where the points and where the points are gonna lie in this game. Is Kobe White gonna have to take on all of that load? We will see. Really, they're also coming off a back-to-back today, and they won yesterday, but there's going to be no Lonzo Ball in this game, so we'll see how that shapes up the offense if it's a little bit different there. Either way, I'm definitely going to still lead Minnesota in this one. Denver -10. I feel great about that. Obviously, no BI. That's a pretty big key part missing there, but there will be Zion, so we'll see how Zion does. Trey Murphy also had a 40-point game the last time these two teams played. I don't think he'll do that again, but never know. Denver -10 feels great. Golden State and the Jazz could be a sneaky, interesting game. I kind of like the Jazz to put up a good fight here. All in all, I think Golden State gets the win, but I think I like the Jazz spread at -6.5 or +6.5. Suns, OKC by -30. This is going to be a blowout of a game. I'm not even going to bother watching it. And then the Orlando Magic versus the Kings. This is going to be a good matchup. Kings without De'Aaron Fox. With Zach LaVine playing his first game. I'm really excited to see how that dynamic works. And there is a bet in that game that I do like that we will get into here in a short bit. But we are going to go over the recap of yesterday's games. Obviously, yesterday we had just a wash of a day going 2-2. Jason Tatum and Kawhi Leonard missed. Kawhi was in a blowout of a game. Jason Tatum just didn't see the rebound chances that I thought he would. That was a bad read on my part. But we did cash out Darius Garland, which was an elite read, which was really hype about, going under 6.5 assists, as well as Amin Thompson going over 4.5 assists since he took over that point guard role with no Fred VanVleet. Was really proud of those two reads. I really like those. But again, ends up being a wash of a day after we had the sweep the day before. So sadly, we couldn't stack sweeps, but we're looking to do that in today's games. For the month, we are plus, now again, it's only been 4 days, but we're still up 1.3 units on the month in the NBA, as well as we have a ROI of 18%. So we're doing pretty well from that standpoint. So let's keep it rolling here in the month of February. Sorry if I also sound tired. I'm recording this at 3:09 in the morning. So, yeah, glows. We're going to start with De'Aaron Fox, the new San Antonio Spur. I've said Sacramento probably 15 times today when talking about him, but we're going to try our best to not, just because it's just so natural to me. The new Spur, De'Aaron Fox, is going over 28.5 points and assists. I love this mark at -110 on DK, getting solid value there. Atlanta allows the 7th most assists. Not only that, but Fox has hit this in both games with the Kings versus Atlanta this year. 35 and 34 PA in those games. Atlanta also allows the 2nd most points to the pick and roll man, where Fox scores 26% of his points, and Atlanta allows the 6th most points in transition, where 18% of Fox's points come from. Not only that, but Fox scored 51% of his points in the paint and beyond the arc, where Atlanta is bottom 3 at both. They're the worst at beyond the arc, so maybe we can see some threes from De'Aaron Fox. But with that being said, I know the main question is going to be, is he going to see the minutes? Obviously, he's on a new team. Normally, there's ramp-up periods, whatnot. But coach came out and said there's no concern of ramping up a conditioning or whatnot. Acting as the Spurs head coach, Mitch Johnson, said of Fox. Now, again, hearing that quote feels great. Despite him being traded, normally, again, there's some minutes restrictions there, but he should see a large chance, especially with CP most likely missing in this game. There's going to be a damn near no Chris Paul. As of right now, again, it could change in the morning, but I think as of right now, we're not going to have no Chris Paul, which makes you like this bet even more. He should see a lot of passing volume and potential assists, as well as he should see some good shots. And if Chris Paul is officially ruled out, that leaves a lot of vacated attempts on the team. Plus, they're playing a really great matchup in Atlanta, so I love this spot. Heading to our next play, we are going to bounce around a little bit as we're going to go to Keontae George in that game against Golden State to go over 17.5 points. The absolute Chuck himself. There is no Colin Sexton in this game. When there is no Colin Sexton, he averages over 20 field goal attempts per game. Not only that, but he's hit over this line in both games without Sexton this season. And Golden State allows the most points in the paint, and Keontae scores 20% of his points in the paint this season. Not only that, but Golden State allows the 2nd most points to spot up shots. Keontae scores 17% of his points off spot up shots. Against shooting guards, this team has just been bad. 11 of the last 15 shooting guards have gone over their points lines versus Golden State, as well as Golden State allows the 6th highest field goal percentage to opposing shooting guards. When you have a good matchup against field goal percentage and you have a chuck like Keontae George, who is literally just chucking shots at this point with how bad his field goal percentage is, that I think if you can pair those two things together, a great matchup, a lot of volume, that Keontae George can easily smash over this line. He's a player I really like to bet on in these matchups because he's pretty easy to predict. So hopefully we can hit that once again here today. Heading to our next play, we're going to take Domantas Sabonis to go over 18.5 points. I know this is going to be controversial because he's playing Orlando. Hey, Orlando's a #1 defense on paper, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but he does really well against these matchups. He's going to be matched up against Wendell Carter, and he's going to be matched up against Gogo Bitadze. Against Gogo Bitadze, he's hit this in 3 of the last 5 games against him. And against Wendell Carter, he's hit this in 3 of the last 4 games against him as well. So he's hit over this mark in good matchups. Not only that, but he's hit over this mark in 61% of games this season. Now there's no De'Aaron Fox. We should see more usage go to Sabonis. Zach LaVine's going to be added to the mix. I don't know how many shots he takes for the first time he's there. I don't think he's going to see probably much over 28 minutes in this one either. I think Zach LaVine's going to be more limited than someone like a De'Aaron Fox will be in San Antonio. But Sabonis has hit over this mark in 6 of the last 9 games this season. And again, without Fox, he's hit over this in 3 or 4 games, averaging 15 field goal attempts per game. So again, if he's seeing 15 field goal attempts, we absolutely love this spot at 18.5. He's also a free throw merchant at times. So if he can get some free throws as well to add on to that, this should be an easy play for us. And Sabonis should cash out pretty early. So I love this spot. We also have Trae Young to go over 10.5 assists. So going back to the San Antonio versus Atlanta game, a -115 on DK, I feel great about. The Spurs allowed the 4th most assists to opposing point guards in the past 7 games this season, as well as Young recorded 16 assists off 27 potential assists in the first time these two teams met. Not only that, but Young has hit over this line in 6 of the last 7 games versus San Antonio. Now, the main question is going to be, well, De'Aaron Fox is playing. How does he do against De'Aaron Fox? Because that's not Chris Paul. Those are completely different people. I understand. But against De'Aaron Fox, he's recorded 12 and 19 assists in the 2 games he's played the Kings. Not only that, but he's had 26 and 33 potential assists in those games. He clearly wants to pass the ball when playing a guy like De'Aaron Fox. So I think we're going to see that same high potential assists. He's averaging over 20 in the past 10 games this season. I think he's going to see more than that like he did before against the Kings. If he sees anywhere around 26 or especially 33 potential assists, this should be an easy damn near early third quarter cash like we see sometimes from Trey. I think he's a big bounce back in assists. I know his points line is very high. I also like the under on that if you want to take that instead. But I'm leaning definitely Trey Young over 10.5 assists here. This feels like a perfect spot to take advantage of getting him at a great value since he has been struggling recently with the assist mark, despite having really high potentials. With that being said, we're going to head to our last play, which is going to be Ausar Thompson to go over 4.5 rebounds. He's hit over this mark in 5 of the last 5 games versus Cleveland. Not only that, but Cleveland allows the second most rebounds to opposing power forwards and the 4th most rebounds in the past 15 games to power forwards. In those games where Ausar has played Cleveland, he's averaged over 10 rebound chances per game, as well as in the past 10 games of this season, he's averaging over 9 rebound chances per game. He only needs 5 rebounds. In games where Ausar sees 20-plus minutes, despite him averaging over 22 minutes, I brought it down to 20 minutes. He's hit over this mark in 57% of games this season, which, again, I expect him to do here in this one. If he sees an easy 20 minutes, he should easily crush over this mark. Against a Cleveland team that's coming off a tough back-to-back against Boston. I expect them to be a little bit more beat up. Ausar is a very, very aggressive player. I think he's going to easily be able to snag some boards like he has 5 of the last 5 times. I expect him to make that 6 of the last 6 times in this one. And Ausar has been seeing the rebound chances, the opportunity. We only need 5 rebounds. I feel like this is a very good spot for a Thompson twin. We have done really well on Amon this year. We did really well on Ausar last year. So now let's get back on Ausar and crush this line. So the full recap, we have Ausar, Trey, Domantas Sabonis, Keontae George, and De'Aaron Fox as the guys we're going to be betting on for today's game. If you guys have anyone that you like that I didn't mention or I didn't talk about in the preview either, make sure to leave a comment down below on the plays you like for today's games. And also let me know how you like the new format. New format we're trying out here. If you like it, make sure to leave a thumbs up, like, subscribe, all that sort of fun shit down below. And I'll catch you guys next time. Make sure to join the Discord as well, where I'll be posting all these plays early as possible and where you can get the night owl plays where when I'm recording this at 3 a.m., you get the plays at 3 a.m. right away. Obviously, YouTube will be a little more delayed. So if you want them right immediately with the absolute best odds, make sure to head over to the Discord and take advantage. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.